morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my channel. On today's video, I want to take one skill and I'll show you how I would progress it or regress it depending on a person's ability or current level of functional fitness. Now, when I teach one of my group movement classes, the challenge is that everybody that comes in is at a different level, is at a different ability. And what I need to be able to do is I need to take the skills that we're working on in class and I need to modify them depending on the person's current level. So today we're going to talk about the active arching hang. So I'm going to start with the regular full version and then we will do regressions and go down from there. So the active arching hang is something that involves us hanging on the bar. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go active with the shoulders. So I'm depressing my shoulders. And now at this point, I'm gonna retract my shoulders, holding this position, coming back forward, and then going passive with the shoulders. So one more time, I'm gonna go active, gonna go into my arch, I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna come forward, and then I'm gonna drop back down into a passive hang. Right. So with this movement, you're gonna actually make a little bit of this curved shape. It's okay for your legs to be hanging down and just passive, but what we're looking to do is we're looking to get the torso parallel to the ground. Now, let's say somebody doesn't have the strength to go into that arch, but they can go into that active hang. So what I would do in that case is I would just have the client put their feet down on the ground. So you can see here that I'm going to adjust the height of these rings. All right, so we're gonna talk about the same movement, all right? So now, rather than having my feet up in the air, I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground like so. So this is gonna make doing this movement a lot easier, but it's going to allow you to feel what you need to do with your shoulders. Okay, so I'm gonna go into that active position, and then I'm going to arch back. I'm gonna hold for a few seconds. I'm gonna come forward, and then I'm gonna drop back down into my passive hang. One more time, I'm coming up active, going into my arch, squeezing my lats, trying to get my torso parallel to the ground, coming forward, and then back down. All right, so that would be a regression if somebody doesn't have the strength to actually do the arch in a full hanging position. But let's say you're somebody that is afraid or you have an injury where you can't flex your arm up over your head. Well, in that case, I got you. We can do somewhat of the same thing, but in this case, hold on, let me even these out. So I would have that person take the rings, and you can see here how we can get into this row position, okay? So from here I can do the same movement, except it's not gonna be a vertical pull, it's gonna be more of a horizontal pull. I'm gonna retract my shoulders, then I'm going to arch my back, I'm gonna come back into that neutral position, and then I'm gonna go passive with the shoulders. Again, retracting, arching, coming back to that center position, and then going passive, all right? So as you get more comfortable with that over time, you can slowly raise the rings up in the air, and this is going to change the angle of the arm. So rather than being at a horizontal pull, now we're gonna be somewhere in between full flexion and horizontal in front of you. So maybe we'll be at this angle. So boom, as you can see here, my arms are at a slightly higher angle. I'm getting closer to the original position. Like so. All right, so that is how I would regress the active arching hang. Let's say you even need to go further than that. Well, what we can do is we can actually break up the active arching hang into pieces. Because if you think about it, it starts in a passive hang. So I could just have my client work on getting used to a passive hang. So you could literally just go under the rings and just hold this position for about 30 seconds. We can also do the same thing, just hanging on the bar, just working on that passive hang. So the second way we could chunk it out is just working on that active hang. So you could just go up and down, up and down. And it's the same thing if you want to keep your feet on the ground. Active into passive. Active into passive. And it's the same thing if you want to do a horizontal pull. Retraction into protraction. Retraction into protraction. So we've taken the passive hang and we've trained that. We've now trained that active portion where we're going straight up and down, so that way we are depressing and elevating the shoulders depending on the regression that we're doing. Or if we're going horizontal, it's more of retraction and protraction of the shoulders. And then at that point, you're just gonna add that arch. So I hope you found some of this information useful. Make sure you watch a video that's on the screen to learn more ways to incorporate exercise, movement, fitness, whatever you call it, into your life. As always, this is Mini Movement Man saying be kind to one another and move well. Watch the next video, baby. Peace.